Third Temple Series, Episode 4, The Abomination of Desolation. Imagine a temple standing again in Jerusalem. Worship has resumed. Priests are performing ancient rituals. But then suddenly, everything stops. A mysterious figure enters the temple, and in a moment that shocks the world, he declares something that fulfills one of the most terrifying prophecies ever recorded. A prophecy known as the Abomination of Desolation. Have you ever heard a warning so old it feels like an echo from another world? Today we're diving into one of the most mysterious and chilling prophecies in history. A warning spoken thousands of years ago that still sparks debate and speculation today. It's a phrase that has puzzled scholars and theologians for centuries. The Abomination of Desolation. What is it, and why does it matter? This strange phrase first appears in the ancient writings of the prophet Daniel. Imagine living over 2,500 years ago, receiving a vision of the future. In the book of Daniel, the prophet describes a terrifying moment when something utterly defiling, something truly abominable, will stand in the holy place of the temple in Jerusalem. This wasn't just any event. It was a sign, a marker for a coming time of great tribulation. A period of chaos unlike anything seen before. Daniel's prophecy was so specific and so shocking that it left a deep imprint on Jewish history and thought. For centuries, people wondered about this prophecy. What could this abomination be? When would it happen? Some scholars believe it was partially fulfilled in the 2nd century BC, when a Greek king named Antiochus Epiphanes desecrated the Jerusalem temple. He erected an altar to Zeus and sacrificed a pig, an unclean animal, on it. This was a profound act of sacrilege, a true abomination in the eyes of the Jewish people. It led to the Maccabean revolt, a time of immense struggle and eventual victory. But was that the final fulfillment? Or was it just a foreshadowing of something even greater? Centuries later, something incredible happened. Another major figure, one whose words would change the course of human history, referenced this very same prophecy. Nearly 600 years after Daniel, Jesus Christ spoke to his disciples on the Mount of Olives, overlooking the very temple Daniel wrote about. His followers asked him about the signs of the end of the age, and his answer was both direct and deeply mysterious. In the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, Jesus gives a stark warning. He says, "So when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by the prophet Daniel standing in the holy place, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains." Think about that for a moment. Jesus is directly quoting Daniel, bringing this ancient prophecy into his own time and pointing it toward the future. His warning tells us something crucial. The event Daniel described, whatever it was, had not yet been fully and finally completed. Antiochus Epiphanes may have been a precursor, but the ultimate abomination was still to come. Jesus connected this event to a future moment that would trigger a time of unprecedented crisis, a great tribulation, such as has not been since the beginning of the world until this time, no, nor ever shall be. He urged immediate and drastic action. Flee! Don't even go back into your house to grab your things. The urgency is palpable. This wasn't just a historical curiosity for Jesus. It was a life or death warning for a future generation. So what does this mean for us today? Many historians see a fulfillment of Jesus' warning in the year 70 AD, when the Roman army besieged and destroyed Jerusalem and its temple. The Roman standards bearing images of their emperor and eagles were brought into the temple area, an act of idolatry that would have been seen as a profound abomination by the Jewish people. Those who heeded the warning and fled Jerusalem before the final siege were saved from the horrific slaughter and starvation that followed. But the story might not end there. The language used by both Daniel and Jesus is so apocalyptic, so final, that many people believe these historical events were just another layer, another foreshadowing of a final abomination of desolation that is yet to happen in the very last days. They see a future where a global leader sets himself up in a rebuilt temple, demanding worship and plunging the world into its final, most intense period of tribulation. From an ancient prophet's vision to a king's desecration, from a warning by Jesus on a hillside to the Roman legion's destruction, and perhaps into our own future, the prophecy of the Abomination of Desolation continues to resonate. It's a powerful reminder of how ancient words can echo through millennia, carrying warnings and raising questions that we are still trying to answer today. What do you think? Is this prophecy a closed chapter in history, or is it a warning that we should still be watching for? Have you ever heard of the Abomination of Desolation? It's a mysterious and intense prophecy from the Bible, but there's a crucial detail hidden inside it that changes everything. The prophecy states this event happens inside the temple. Think about that for a second. For this prophecy to come true, something absolutely monumental has to happen first. The third temple must be rebuilt in Jerusalem. Right now, there is no temple. So without it, the prophecy simply can't unfold as described. This is exactly why any news or discussion about rebuilding the temple gets so much attention from people who study Bible prophecy. Imagine if a new temple were to be built. Suddenly, the physical stage for this ancient prophecy would exist again, setting the scene for what comes next. It's like a missing puzzle piece being put into place. But who is at the center of this event? The New Testament gives us more clues. In the book of 2 Thessalonians, the Apostle Paul talks about a figure he calls the man of lawlessness. This isn't just some random person. Paul describes this individual as someone who will enter the temple of God and actually proclaim that he himself is God. It's an act of ultimate defiance. Many Bible scholars connect this man of lawlessness directly to the figure commonly known as the Antichrist. If this interpretation is correct, then the Abomination of Desolation isn't just a random act. It could be the very moment this powerful leader reveals his true hidden agenda to the entire world. A moment of absolute shock and betrayal when a respected leader shows his true colors on a global stage. This prophecy isn't just an ancient story. It's a warning about deception and a call to be discerning. It speaks of a time when appearances will be incredibly misleading. Understanding these connections helps us see the bigger picture of what the Bible says is yet to come. It's a fascinating, complex topic that continues to captivate and challenge people today. What do you think about this? Does the idea of a third temple change how you view this prophecy? Has anything like this happened before? It's a question many ask, and some historians point to a chilling event in ancient history. They believe there was a partial fulfillment of this prophecy way back in 167 BC. A Greek ruler, Antiochus IV Epiphanes, marched into Jerusalem and desecrated the Jewish temple. He did this by placing pagan symbols inside the most sacred space of Jewish worship, an act that deeply shocked and offended the people. Many scholars today see this event as a historical foreshadowing, a smaller-scale version of the prophecy Daniel described. It was a dark time, but it wasn't the final chapter. Centuries after Antiochus, Jesus himself spoke about the Abomination of Desolation as an event that was still to come. This is a crucial detail because it tells us that whatever happened with Antiochus wasn't the complete fulfillment. Jesus pointed to a future time when this prophecy would be realized on an even grander scale. This is why the prophecy continues to capture the attention of so many people today. It's not just an ancient story. It's a future event that many believe is still on the horizon, waiting to unfold according to the biblical timeline. So why does this ancient prophecy still matter so much in our modern world? The answer lies in Jerusalem, specifically on the Temple Mount. For the prophecy to be fulfilled as described, many believe the Jewish temple would need to be rebuilt and animal sacrifices would need to resume. If that were to happen, the stage would be set. All the conditions described in these ancient texts could suddenly become a reality. This is exactly why any news or developments surrounding the Temple Mount get so much global attention. You might hear about groups like the Temple Institute, which are actively making preparations for a future temple, crafting sacred vessels, weaving priestly garments, and even training priests. To many, these aren't just historical reenactments. They are seen as literal pieces of a prophetic puzzle falling into place, a puzzle that people have been studying and debating for thousands of years. But here's the thing, the Abomination of Desolation is only part of the story. It's a sign, a major turning point. According to the prophecies, what happens next could be even more dramatic and world-changing. Because after this moment, the world enters a period described in prophecy as one of the most difficult times in human history. We're talking about wars, global turmoil, and the very events laid out in the final book of the Bible. In our next episode, We're going to dive deep into how the rebuilding of the temple connects to the dramatic events described in Revelation. We'll explore why so many people believe this future temple could play a central role in the timeline of the last days. But before we get to that, I have a question for you. If the third temple were suddenly built tomorrow, do you think the world would recognize it as a fulfillment of prophecy? Or would most people completely miss its significance? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss our next video. Thanks for watching. This is the Watchman Record. Thank you for watching. Leave any comments below and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.